What if I told you that waiting for motivation to strike is the number one reason 92% of people abandon their goals within the first 3 months? It's a shocking statistic, isn't it? We're all taught to chase that feeling of inspiration, that spark of motivation, to get things done. But what if that's the very thing holding us back? What if the real secret to achieving anything you want in life isn't motivation at all, but its less glamorous, more reliable cousin, discipline? Today, we're diving deep into the ultimate showdown: discipline versus motivation. We'll uncover the hidden truth that could completely change how you approach your dreams, your career, and your daily life. By the end of this video, you'll understand why relying on motivation is like trying to build a house on sand, while discipline is the bedrock foundation for lasting success. So let's talk about motivation. It feels amazing, right? It's that sudden jolt of energy after watching an inspiring movie or hearing a powerful speech. You feel like you can conquer the world. You set a dozen new goals. You're going to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym every day, learn a new language, and finally start that business. For a few days, maybe even a week, you're on fire. But then what happens? A stressful day at work, a poor night's sleep, or just a gloomy Tuesday morning, and that fiery motivation flickers and dies out. Suddenly, the 5 a.m. alarm feels like a punishment, and the couch looks a lot more appealing than the gym. This is the fundamental problem with motivation. It's an emotion. And like all emotions, it's fleeting and unreliable. It comes and goes based on our mood, our energy levels, and external circumstances. Relying on it to achieve long-term goals is a recipe for failure. Think of it like a fair weather friend. It's there for the sunny days, cheering you on when things are easy. But it vanishes at the first sign of a storm. When the real work begins, when things get tough and tedious, motivation is often nowhere to be found, and that's precisely when you need to keep going. This is where discipline steps in. Discipline is the unsung hero of achievement. It's the commitment to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. It's showing up when you'd rather stay in bed. It's choosing the healthy meal when you're craving junk food. It's putting in an hour of work on your side project after a long day, even when you're exhausted. Discipline isn't about feeling good. It's about doing good for your future self. It's a conscious choice, a system you build, not a feeling you wait for. While motivation is a spark, discipline is the slow, steady burn that keeps the fire going, day in and day out. It transforms your goals from wishful thinking into a concrete plan of action. One of the most powerful things discipline does is forge habits. Habits are the automated behaviors that make up around 40% of our daily lives. When you use discipline to consistently repeat an action, your brain starts to build neural pathways to make that action easier and more automatic. For instance, think about learning to drive. At first, it required immense concentration. You had to consciously think about the pedals, the mirrors, the steering wheel. But after weeks of disciplined practice, it became second nature. You now drive without even thinking about the mechanics. That's the power of habits forged through discipline. A fascinating study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that, on average, it takes 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. During those 66 days, motivation will fail you. It's discipline that gets you through. By consistently showing up, you're essentially programming your brain. You're taking the decision-making and the emotional struggle out of the equation. So instead of waking up and debating whether or not to go for a run, your disciplined habit takes over. Your running shoes are by the door, and you're out before your brain has a chance to protest. This is how lasting change happens. Not through a momentary burst of inspiration, but through the deliberate, consistent creation of positive habits. This leads us to the superpower of consistency. Discipline provides consistency regardless of your motivation levels. Imagine you're a writer aiming to complete a novel. If you only write when you feel inspired, you might produce a few pages one week and then nothing for a month. Progress would be slow and erratic. But a disciplined writer commits to a schedule, say, writing 500 words every single morning. Some days the words will flow effortlessly. On other days it will feel like pulling teeth. But the disciplined writer shows up anyway. By the end of the year, they'll have a completed manuscript. The motivated writer might still be waiting for their muse to appear. This principle is what separates amateurs from professionals in any field. The professional athlete doesn't just train when they feel like it. They follow a rigorous schedule set by their coach. The successful entrepreneur doesn't just work on their business when they're excited. They put in the hours, day after day, handling the boring and difficult tasks. Consistency compounds over time. Small, disciplined actions performed daily lead to massive results in the long run. It's the aggregation of marginal gains, a concept popularized by Sir Dave Brailsford, the former performance director of British Cycling. He believed that if you improved every tiny aspect of what you do by just 1%, those small gains would add up to a remarkable improvement. This is only possible through relentless, disciplined consistency. Another incredible benefit of discipline is the way it builds self-confidence. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you send a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I'm someone who keeps their promises. I am reliable. I can trust myself. Think about it. When you tell yourself you're going to wake up early and you actually do it, you start your day with a win. When you promise yourself you'll finish a report and you complete it, you reinforce your identity as someone who gets things done. This creates a positive feedback loop. The action comes first, driven by discipline. The confidence follows as a result of that action. This is in stark contrast to waiting for motivation. Often we think we need to feel confident before we can take action, but research suggests the opposite is true. Action breeds confidence. As you consistently take disciplined action and see yourself making progress, your belief in your own abilities soars. This newfound confidence then makes it even easier to be disciplined in the future. You're no longer battling self-doubt. You have a track record of success, built one disciplined action at a time. It's about proving to yourself, not anyone else, that you are capable. So how do we cultivate this powerful force? One of the most effective methods is to set schedules and build systems. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are for making progress. Instead of just saying, I want to get fit, which is a goal, create a system. I will go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This removes the guesswork and the need for daily decision-making. Your schedule tells you what to do and when to do it. Treat these appointments with yourself with the same respect you would give to an important meeting with your boss. You wouldn't just not feel like going to that meeting. Apply the same non-negotiable standard to your personal goals. This is your meeting with your future self. By externalizing the decision onto a calendar, you conserve your limited willpower for the task itself, rather than wasting it on the debate of whether or not to do it. Your schedule becomes your boss, and your only job is to show up and execute. This simple shift from relying on internal feelings to following an external system is a game changer for building discipline. Finally, discipline is your ultimate weapon against procrastination and burnout. Procrastination often stems from feeling overwhelmed. We look at a huge goal, and it feels so daunting that we don't know where to start, so we do nothing. Discipline breaks that cycle. By focusing on a small, scheduled, repeatable action, you make the task manageable. You're not thinking about writing a whole book. You're just focused on writing your 500 words for today. This chunking down of tasks makes them less intimidating and makes it easier to get started, which is often the hardest part. Moreover, a disciplined approach can prevent burnout. Burnout often happens when we work erratically. sprinting in hyper-motivated bursts and then crashing. This is unsustainable. A disciplined schedule incorporates not just work, but also rest. It ensures you're working at a steady, sustainable pace. It tells you when to work hard, but just as importantly, it tells you when to stop, rest, and recover. This balance is crucial for long-term endurance. Motivation wants you to sprint a marathon, which is impossible. Discipline teaches you to pace yourself, ensuring you have the energy to cross the finish line, no matter how long the race. It builds resilience, helping you bounce back from setbacks because your system, not your fleeting mood, is in charge. In the end, the choice is yours. You can continue to wait for the lightning bolt of motivation, hoping it strikes at the right time and lasts long enough to carry you to your goals. Or you can start building the unshakable foundation of discipline. Start small. Pick one area of your life. Commit to one tiny, consistent action every day for the next 30 days, regardless of how you feel. Don't rely on inspiration. Rely on your schedule. Rely on your commitment. Prove to yourself that you are the kind of person who follows through. Motivation is the spark that starts the fire, but discipline is the fuel that keeps it burning long after the initial excitement has faded. It's the quiet, steady force that turns dreams into reality. So stop waiting to feel like it and start doing it. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe. For more content on building a better, more disciplined life, let me know in the comments which habit you're going to start building today. I can't wait to see what you achieve. See you in the next video.